There we go. There we go. There we go. There we go. How you looking like that? Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good whatever part of the day this video chooses to reach you. I hope you're feeling well. I hope you're feeling well. I hope you realize that you are blessed. I hope you realize that you're blessed because you get to see a day that somebody did not get to see. Somebody had an appointment with the man upstairs or whatever God that you choose to serve, and that's where they at right now. So realize that you're blessed. Speaking of blessed and getting to see that somebody else didn't get to see, we got a lot of service members that are about to be dragged into a fucking war because Donald Trump just wants to do some shit. Unfortunately, over the weekend we've seen Israel and Iran escalate their tension to the point where the United States got involved and dropped bombs on nuclear sites that were supposed to be enriching uranium and doing all type of whatnot. But it's going to be found out that the story has went from we bombed 3 nuclear sites to we've dismantled their nuclear program to we've hurt it a whole lot to we're not sure where the uranium is. So pretty much the gist of what happened over the weekend is that the Trump administration, they used over $1 million in taxpayer funds to bomb some fucking dirt. Push a narrative that we're going to protect the United States interests in the Middle East by disarming the nuclear capabilities of Iran, which by the nature of the Iran deal. That's what the fuck their Iran deal was even for. They killed in his first term in office. Unfortunately, Iran ain't taking this in now. Iran has said that everyone's going to feel this. Now, personally, if you know, the Ayatollah rock and roll, if you're listening, just bro, I ain't got nothing to do with that shit. Us in Florida, we good people, we cool people. We're not like them. We're not like that. So please just kind of help us out and don't hurt everybody. You know what I'm saying? If you want to do shit in Washington D.C., you know, Mar-a-Lago, Trump Tower, that between you and them. But please, the rest of us, leave us out of it, please. Oh, got first comment. Nick So D, what you say? Trump tacoed out, so Iran is now enriching all of its 90% before putting it on a passenger plane. Who knows where it'll crash into? That's a fair statement to make if you are just trying to push the MAGA rhetoric. But the reality is we got to find out where they're if they even have enriched uranium, number one, because I'm 41 years old and I'm old enough to remember the weapons of mass destruction line that was used to drag the United States into the Iraq war. And at the end of all that, they had all type of Senate hearings and judiciary whatnots, only for Bush to say, yeah, we knew there was no weapons of mass destruction. So to talk about the enriched uranium and then blow 3 holes in the ground that's bigger than fucking 10 football fields put together using billions and millions of dollars of taxpayer money, it just seems a little suspect. Especially since Israel, excuse me, has been saying that Iran is so close to, getting these nuclear capabilities and now, let's be real here. Iran, we know that they have the capabilities to make a nuclear bomb. That was never in question. Now, the fact that you're spending all this taxpayer money to bomb holes in the ground, nah, we're not doing that. Oh, yeah, I'm the political crash out, Nick. So please don't feel any way to try and feel any type of way about if I say something. But I'm that's my spin on things. I'm a crash out. So, but I just know politics and crash out. So no hard feelings. But I too am an avid anti-war peace advocate. The Ukraine and Russia situation, it's a damn shame. But we'll get to that in a few. Well, I ain't gonna touch on that today. But to get back to the Iran, Israel, U.S. proxy war, we're seeing that the Iran retaliation is more of a chess move than anything. Iran has taken over, and I don't say taken over because they actually own it. They've blocked the. Where's my graphic? Where's my graphic? Where's my fucking graphic? Give me a moment, y'all. Give me a moment. Hey, show my graphic. Graphic, my graphic. There. All right. So as you see on the screen, this is the Strait of Hormuz, or Hormuz, or whatever the fuck you want to pronounce it as. I'm going to pronounce it wrong. But Iran, as you can see by that big yellow block, that's all Iran. And that little arrow is pointing to the Strait of Hormuz. That little gap is the main transport route for about 20% of the world's oil and crude gas supply. Let's just say gas, because when I say crude oil, people are like, oh, that's where your gas, that's 20, that's where 20% of your gas in the world come from. And Iran has said, you know what? We're blocking that shit. You want to play games with us? We're going to show you better than we could tell you. We've already shown Israel that we got these hypersonic ballistic rockets that can defeat the Iron Dome. But aside from the might, we're going to show you that we got some brains up here. We're going to play a little bit of chess. And we're going to make gas prices go up since you want to fucking play with us. Because as I said in previous content, all the Middle East really want is a seat at the table. They want to be taken seriously. You know, it's astounding how much of the world's oil supply goes to that little ass gap of water right there. Oh, I got some comments here. Dark hands. Let's see. Nick says I say me still ran to the teeth, to be honest. 3.5 years. Man, listen. I think when it comes to arming Ukraine, that's going to fall on the EU. Trump is playing games, and he's not being as forthcoming as we would like him to be with his feelings towards Ukraine, but we can see it in his actions. I'm a person that believes actions more than words. So I look at a person's actions because it's harder to lie through action than it is through words. You can say whatever you want to say, and people may or may not believe it, but it's hard as fuck to lie through actions. And these actions say that he doesn't really support Ukraine. So the EU, I applaud the EU for stepping in there and providing the munitions and the support that Ukraine has been needing to further their war. And have you seen in the past couple of weeks, they've escalated the level of attack that they've done. They're actually reaching deeper into Russia and attacking the motherland Ruskies, all of that real Russian based on that oil on their turf. They're bombing the fuck out of the core of Russia. So, in a sense, the EU stepped in there already, and still they're arming them to the teeth. Now, glad you brought this up, Nick. So they do support a lot of Russia's oil. I mean, they do import a lot of Russian oil, but that's because Russia effectively got froze out. And in exchange for that oil that they've been importing from Russia, they've actually been arming Russia and helping Russia in that Ukraine Russia war, which brings an interesting point. Russia has already said to the United States that if they get involved with the Iran and Israel conflict, they're getting involved. They're going to bring their big guns out. They're going to start doing shit. And China is headed to. So this move by Iran by blocking up the Strait of Hormuz that is supplies 20% of the world's oil supply is actually a pretty fucking smart move because they already have individuals that are willing to go to bat for them and fuck some shit up, namely Russia and China. Now, like, oh, come on, what the fuck? Technology is a mother fricker. Technology is a mother fricker. Personal graphics don't want to pull up. Damn, a virtual background. Shit's on me. There we go. As I said, Iran has closed off 1/5 of the world's oil supply. This is a hell of a chess move. This is a hell of a chess move by a hell of a chess move because, like I said, this is hitting people in their pockets, and this hits everyone, not just the United States of America. This is 20% of the world's oil supply being blocked off. So the rest of the world, even if they want to just say, "Oh, that shit ain't got nothing to do, man, I ain't gonna worry about that, man, that shit don't impact me," they're lying because everywhere in the world, gas is going to increase. Even if it doesn't increase astronomically, you're going to see an increase in the amount that you pay at the pump. Let's see. Well, if you don't mind, and if I'm allowed to, I could post some funny reactions between Medvedev and Trump. All these are on X. Douche like, bro. I welcome all the comments and whatever else that people want to drop in my chats. I am not one of those people that are gonna try and regulate my chat. I'm gonna be honest with you. I would feel disingenuous to call myself the political crash out live from the political garage if I let my chat crash out a little bit too and have some fun. So have at it. Have fucking at it. I'm all for it. Now, as I said before in previous podcasts, previous live streams, I don't make money from this stuff. I am monetized on Facebook. Um, uh, TikTok. I'm damn near shadow banned. Like, but I'm only monetized on one one thing. So I really don't do this for money. And if you saw the payout that Facebook gave me this past week, hell, I made $11 on Facebook. I don't know how I did it, what I did it, but every time I go live, I always get a community standards warning. So I think they like me, but they like, damn, bro, calm the fuck down a little bit. Why you crashing out? Like, bro, just chill the fuck out. So I always got that community standard just lurking there on the Facebook chat. But that's the only thing I'm monetized on. So I don't do this for money. So don't feel like you're gonna mess up my chat if you crash out to say certain things. Crash the fuck out because I'm gonna if I feel like it, I'm gonna say it. That's been me this whole 41-year journey that I've been on. If I feel it, I'm gonna say it. A lot of people don't like that. That's what's hence shout out to my barber because he this man has been telling me stop crashing out for at least 4 years now on the political stuff. Like, bro, talk politics, stop crashing out, bro. Every fucking week, my barber tells me stop crashing out. So that's the hint to me. That's where the name comes from. The political crash out because my barber tries to stop me from crashing out in our weekly therapy sessions, aka my weekly barber sessions, where he cuts me up and makes me look like somebody's son and look presentable to the world. But I'm still say what I want. I'm still say what I do. It's just gonna happen. It's just gonna fucking happen. It's not gonna happen. As long as you don't share no chat bot, no fucking what things called viruses and shit. Have it. I don't give a just don't be trying to mess for all anybody in the chat. Don't be just trying to just advertise bullshit out here in the chat either, because that will force me to regulate my chat. Now, if it's on par and we, something to do what we got going on, cool. But people start sharing all type of wild shit and crazy shit, then I might have to, set up the monitoring of the chats and all that crazy shit. But have at it. I don't give a damn. If I'm gonna crash out, I'm gonna let y'all crash out. I don't give a fuck. Do it. Let's fucking have it. Check the other chats really quick. Sometimes this apps don't bring all my chats through, so I gotta have all the chats up across all the platforms that I'm streaming across to make sure I'm getting what I need to get. All right, so we're going to see higher gas prices worldwide, no matter where you're at, because of this move that Iran has done. And just today, excuse me, let me start speaking a little bit clearer. We've seen that Israel and Iran have exchanged rocket fire again. So just to say this is going to be a quick one, nah, hell no, this ain't going to be quick at all. Excuse me. Kind of want to tell somebody. But yeah, this ain't gonna be a quick one at all. This is gonna be a long, drawn out affair. Now, how crazy it gets, I don't know. But I will say that if you are an American citizen, I would highly encourage you to be aware of the draft process that is in America. Because if you are an American citizen between the ages of I think it's 18 and 26, you're eligible to get drafted. And if you think that you not gonna get drafted, looking crazy at chat because I realize that y'all might not be able to see me right now. Not sure what the fuck is going on. Not sure what is going on. That is what is going on? What in the entire fuck? All right. What the all right, see the man is fucking with me, y'all. Got video, you got sound, but you don't have video now. There we go. Technology is a motherfucker sometimes. You gotta sometimes you want to slap the shit out of it. I don't know what the hell just happened there, but the camera cut out. All right, so move along. Um, we like I said, we're gonna see higher gas prices because of this move, and I just hope that we don't see any real crazy stuff go on outside of the war that I think is impending. And like I said, if you're in the United States of America and you're a male between the ages of 18 and 27, you're draft eligible. And at a time where we don't we're not seeing a lot of people really enroll in the military like that anymore. They're not going to enroll in the military in wartime. There could be a draft. I'm not going to sit here trying to fearmonger you, but just be mindful that if you're a male in the United States of America between the ages of 18 and 27, and when you register to vote, you register for selective service, and that is basically the draft. So it's gonna. We'll see. We'll see what happens there. All right. So moving along, I want to ask y'all: did y'all see this shit right here?
Now that God has put me on a different platform, I got people call me and ask me for my cash app, my wiring instructions, because they want to bless me just for standing for the truth. And in case you want to know it, it's $ Kelvin Cobairs. I had one fellow the other day while we're in the Rose Garden. He heard my story. He said, give me your wiring instructions. I thought nothing of it. I thought he might send a couple hundred and call it a day. The next day he hadn't sent anything. I said, oh, he must have had a little lying spirit and forgot what he told me. However, I woke up Saturday morning. I checked my personal account and I saw $10,000 US. I say, hallelujah. I should have went this way a long time ago.
Now, I don't know about you, but this type of behavior is disgusting. This shit is disgusting. Fucking disgusting. We have, what is it? New Life Church International of Plant City, here in Florida, here in the great state of Florida. Y'all pastor just sold out for $10,000. and apparently other donations, because as he has switched sides and started pushing the MAGA rhetoric, he's getting donations. He's getting money from individuals to say, hey, go out there and keep pushing the MAGA shit and getting more black people on our side. Now, never mind all the fuckery that we've seen happen under the Trump administration. He's not kept any of his promises. We've got MAGA supporters left and right start to jump ship. Republicans are jumping ship and turning on him. Hell, even Marjorie Taylor Greene sent out a fucking string of tweets today, just going off and saying, "Hey, well, it feels like a bait and switch move from the Trump administration." So to hear this black pastor get online and boast about being sent $10,000 in exchange for him going to push the MAGA-tard rhetoric, it's fucking disgusting. It's fucking disgusting. Not only is it disgusting, it's a sign of where we're at in Black America. The black delegation needs to do a lot better with gatekeeping who the fuck has a say-so and who has influence and impact. I said it before on streams, and I'm going to say it again. The GOP has effectively weaponized familiarity. They will take individuals that look like you and that you think like you and put them in front of your face and have them push that MAGA rhetoric in exchange for monetary gain. Because I got to say that a different way, MAGA people are putting niggas in front of y'all face that will sell you out for money. They're going to tell you, oh, yeah, Trump's going to do good stuff. He's going to do this. Because they don't have to give you any facts or anything like that. They just got to know how to pull on your emotions, play on your emotions, tap dance on your emotions. When they tap dance on your emotions, they pull you to their side, and then you see shit gets more worse, and they're going to sit there and be like, oh, it's the Democrats, it's the Democrats, it's the Democrats. They did it all. They did it all. All while not giving you no real solutions, no real plans, no real outlook on what's going to happen. Besides, hey, well, I think we maybe could give you a whole bunch of evasive language. And that's what this man is basically saying. He has been, I guess, an independent or Democrat before, because he said, hey, if he knew that he would get funded like this before, he would have did this shit a long time ago. Which speaks to where a lot of niggas at in this world. A lot of niggas just glorify money. And I said it before, I'm gonna say it again, and I'm gonna keep saying this shit right here. You never notice how niggas always give respect to motherfuckers with money? They don't give a fuck how they got the money, where they got the money from. But as long as the motherfucker got a lot of money, niggas gonna sit there and coon and shuck and jive for them. It's fucked up my steam. I had a clip loaded up, ready. I even let it in perfectly. You know, notice how niggas always give respect to motherfuckers with money. They don't give a fuck how they got the money, where they got the money from. But as long as the motherfucker got a lot of money, niggas gonna sit there and coon and shuck and jive for them. And coon and shuck and jive for them. Yeah. Niggas gonna shuck and jive. Let me say that one more time. Run it back. Run it back. Niggas always give respect to motherfuckers with money. They don't give a fuck how they got the money, where they got the money from. But as long as the motherfucker got a lot of money, niggas gonna sit there and coon and shuck and jive for them. That's exactly what the fuck that happens. And that's what happened with this pastor from Plant City, Kelvin Cobairs. He doesn't give a fuck where that money comes from. He just knows that since he started pushing the MAGA rhetoric, he's been getting more and more money for it. If you don't see something wrong with that, you need to get the fuck off my stream, because this message ain't for you. And the shit I'm gonna say is gonna start pissing you off more and more. We've seen this happen time and time again in the black community on a big scale and a small scale. We've just seen it. We've been seeing it. I don't want to touch on it, but damn, goddamn you. Can I say anymore? Our board of trustees, board of governors, the board of trustees, they've sat there and sold the university out for personal gain. For their in exchange for their seats at the table, they voted in a woman that has no fucking experience running the school, running college, running higher education, any of that shit, because they've gotten a seat at the table. They're getting checks on the backhand. They haven't talked about their checks. Kevin Cobairs is talking about his check, but understand this is the type of shit that happens. And people like me that say, hey, look at the bullshit. Get called out. I'm like, man, I actually had one of my homegirls ask me, you don't mind being known as a dude that's gonna always say some shit? I don't give a fuck. I don't. I really don't. And the habit of black community, and there's a habit in the black community where we see bullshit happening with our friends or family do some bullshit, and nobody wants to address it. And the person that addresses it gets pointed out. Oh man, why you gotta say something? Like, man, you ain't gotta say it like that. You ain't gotta talk about it like that, man. Why you gotta talk? Because if we don't talk about this shit like this happens. But we had a fucking pastor of a church going in his pulpit and talking about accepting bribes in exchange for talking that bullshit. Like,
now that God has put me on a different platform, I got people call me and ask me for my cash app, my wiring instructions, because they want to bless me just
because God has put me on this platform and now people want to bless me. Have I talked about the Republican messaging where they just try and talk to your emotions and get you riled up based on your emotions and get you to follow behind them just because they're your emotions? They tap down to your emotions and trigger your emotions and get you behind them because of your fucking emotions. Side note, the Bible was used as a justification for slavery. I'm just put that out there. You know, they did, try and talk about a lot of slavery shit in the Bible. But cool ass nigga got something to say.
Just for standing for the truth. And in case you want to know it, it's $ Kelvin Cobairs.
He even throw it in there like, hey, y'all, give me some money.
I had one fellow the other day while we're in the rose garden. He heard my story. He said, give me your wiring instructions. I thought nothing of it. I thought he might send a couple hundred and call it a day. The next day he hadn't sent anything. I said, oh, he must have had a little lying spirit and forgot what he told me. However, I woke up Saturday morning. I checked my personal account and I saw $10,000 US. I said, hallelujah. I should have went this way a long time ago.
I remind you,
niggas always give respect to motherfuckers with money. They don't give a fuck. How notice how niggas always give respect to motherfuckers with money? They don't give a fuck how they got the money, where they got the money from. But as long as the motherfucker got a lot of money, niggas gonna sit there and coon and shuck and jive for them.
Kelvin Cobairs, prime fucking example. Prime fucking example. My only question is, of that $10,000, did that church in Plant City get a donation to their building fund? Because we've seen pastors holler, close the door. Close the door. We've seen pastors say, well, I'm just trying to get an extra. This pastor is gloating and boasting about getting 10 racks. I wonder how much of that went to the church. Was that, well, this went to my personal account. This is my personal money. Motherfucker, did you tithe? Did you tithe into that? Because that's shucking and jiving is work. You shucking and jiving and doing work. That's work you're doing, my nigga. So don't try and say it was a donation because you working for that. They got you on the stroll. They got your whole ass on the stroll. Don't forget your position. Your position is to push that MAGA shit to the masses, to the black people, and try and get more black people onto that MAGA train. Because the white folks are jumping off that MAGA train. And you're trying to get more black people on there. And you're trying to drop that little seed and say, hey, if y'all niggas just get on board with the train, you know what I'm saying? They might bless you too. And there's a lot of niggas that's gonna sell out for money. But as I've said before, and I'll continue to say, a rising tide raises all ships. I make more money when the environment that everybody else is in is good. We'll just be honest with you. That's just the reality of the situation. When you're trying to maximize your own personal profits and saying fuck everybody else, it becomes a cold world. It becomes a lonely journey. It becomes a struggling journey. But when the environment that you operating in is flourishing, especially for you business owners that can't connect the dots, when your primary customer market doesn't have as much money to spend, your business suffers. When they rolling the door and they ain't gonna gotta pay for all this other bullshit and extra shit, you make a lot more money. That's just what it is. Get off this coon ass nigga. Talk about this motherfucker here. I gotta get Florida, we Florida women and Florida men and thing. But have you seen Have you seen this shit?
Florida Governor Ron DeSantis said that he wants to do more to protect the pro-life movement. What would you like to see done in terms of Florida law?
Give me a minute, y'all.
You know, I think that Florida has
technology in the day. Oh shit, technology is technology in today.
Florida Governor Ron DeSantis said that he wants to do more to protect the pro-life movement. What would you like to see done in terms of Florida law?
You know, I think that what Florida has done was an amazing step in terms of advocacy for the sanctity of life. And, you know, you just hit on that, Carly. We saw back in the day not a lot of resources for life, not a lot of efforts for adoption or fostering. And so back when my mom had to make this decision, she didn't have those resources, but she still stood firm for life. Now we have pregnancy centers all across the country. And I like to tell women that you have options. There are real choices here,
yes.
Not just the abortion. That's not a real choice. That's murder.
Murder. Murder. Bitch. Is she fucking crazy? Now, give me a moment, y'all. Let me get this over to this. Let me get this thing over here. So I can upload this because technology has been technology. Technology has been technology lately, and I wasn't able to do this. But let me get this clip up here for you guys because this is Florida GOP Congresswoman. What's her name? Katy Cammack. Cammack. C-A-M-M-A-C-K. And as you can see on that clip, she was very adamant and very happy about Roe v. Wade being overturned. That is, if you're not familiar with what Roe v. Wade is, that is the abortion law in the United States of America. When it got overturned, she was very happy about it. She has a story saying that her mother was told to abort her because she had some type of ailment, what have you. But then this shit happened. Yeah, the same woman that just was hollering about being proud that Roe v. Wade got overturned, the 6-week abortion ban that she voted for and she supported and she pushed in the state of Florida almost took her out. She almost died because she had an ectopic pregnancy, which basically that's when the fetus doesn't always descend from the ovaries or the womb, something like that. The fetus gets stuck somewhere in the woman parts, and if it doesn't get removed, she could die. So that was the situation that was going on with Katy Cammack. And she went to a Gainesville hospital and tried to get an abortion. The very thing that she talks about is not good. The very thing that she rails about in her time when she spends on Fox News. The very thing that she talks shit about anytime that somebody puts a fucking microphone in her face. She went and got an abortion. Now, the doctors at the hospital said, hey, Kat, the law that you just put in place is very vague in nature. And they write that shit vague on purpose so that you could get lost in the weeds and try and, it's done like that on purpose so that you can't zero in on too much of it. And if you want to try and repeal whatever they're trying to do, it's so vague and vast that you just got to spend a lot of time on it. But the abortion law was so vague that they said, hey, you said in your law that you put forward that we can't perform abortions at past 6 weeks. You're telling us that you're only 5 weeks pregnant. We don't know about that. We have reason to believe that you may be close to that 6-week mark. And because of that, we don't want to do this abortion on you because we could go to jail as stated in your law that you put forward. And she's not blaming the law itself for giving those people the apprehension. She's saying that it was Democrats and left-wing media that was doing fear-mongering, that scared these people into not wanting to perform an abortion on her to save her life. Not the fact that Florida put one of the most restrictive abortion bans together in the history of ever, and she supported it, she voted for it, she pushed it, and now that very fucking law almost killed her. Do you see how fucked up the shit that Republicans do? People give me flack for saying I go hard on Republicans. But as I stated before, and I'll continue to state, when you look at who's doing the fucked up shit, you have no choice but to say, hey, these Republicans are fucked up. I call a spade a spade. And sometimes people don't like that shit, But that's only because it makes you think on the inside. It makes you actually process some thoughts. It makes you have to do some fucking thinking instead of just saying, oh, I feel like, oh, I feel like, I feel like. Get out your fucking feelings and think. Because if she would have got her fucking feelings and thought for a moment, she would not say, oh, well, the Democrats, you know, they fear-mongered these doctors and they're not wanting to perform an abortion on me. That she said is bad, that she said her, you know, people try to push her mom to get an abortion with her, and if her mom would have listened, she wouldn't be here. But your fucking law almost killed you, lady. And you're sitting out here blaming fear-mongering, which, like I said before, Republicans play on your emotions. They don't give a fuck about policy because they understand that America is an emotionally driven place now. Americans do not rely on logic and thought. Americans rely on fucking emotions. Emotions are what Americans rely on, they run on, and unfortunately, it's also what makes a lot of Americans fucking dumb. Because when you're not using your logic, you say stupid shit like her and say, oh, well, you guys were fear-mongering the doctors and that's why they didn't want to perform an abortion on me. No, it was your vague-ass law that they didn't understand that said, hey, I don't want to go to jail. You guys are saying I'm going to go to jail if I perform abortions on people past 6 weeks. You're right up on that 6-week mark. How do I know that I'm not going to face some type of wild-ass lawsuit, as we've seen before in the state of Florida, behind vague laws? Because what happens is they put these vague laws together, and then they find instances where people may or may not have violated that vague-ass law, and then they railroad them if they don't like them. It's really a trap. It's really a trap for people that are not supporters of the Democrats, are not supporters of the Republican Party. It's really a trap. Those vague-ass laws are really traps. And that's what those doctors knew. That vague law didn't have any real specifics in it. That's why we've seen a big push to repeal that law last time, and that's where Governor Ron DeSantis stole $10 million of Florida taxpayer money and funneled it through his wife's nonprofits to shadow political action groups to oppose the repealing of abortion laws in the state of Florida, because they knew that these laws was vague as shit. What she said? She say Iran is like, oh, no. Oh, my bad. I'm looking. That ain't the chat. That's something else. Shower really quick. Shower. We'll see this one. 30 seconds. No, I ain't gonna crash out. But as we've seen right here, another vague Florida law that almost cost this bitch her life, and she's sitting there trying to say it's because people are fear-mongering. It's not fear-mongering. It's the vague fucking laws that Republicans put in place that lead to bullshit lawsuits that those doctors were afraid of. Because, like I said, those vague laws are really traps, and they're waiting for individuals to fuck up so they could try and railroad them. And those doctors weren't falling for that shit. And she damn near lost her life for it. Now, I hope this serves as a wake-up call for her and others, because this is a prime example of something I was told a long time ago. Well, a couple things, two things. One, the karma and energy that you put out into the world comes back to you. It comes back to you and bites you in the ass and fucks you up. And secondly, no, I'm not gonna say it because that's just crude and wrong. That's beyond crashing out, and I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna be a good Christian. I'm gonna be a good Christian today. I'm gonna be a good Christian like Trump. Man, this fat bitch almost fucking died because of her own fucking law. Like, when you do stupid shit, you play dumb games, you get dumb prizes, bitch. That's what happened. That's what the fuck happened. You play stupid games, you win stupid prizes, and you won a stupid prize, bitch. You almost died because of it. And instead of saying, well, you know what, we may need to put some more specifics or just, kind of straighten some things out with the law. She chose to say she almost died because of fear mongering from Democrats. More of that Republican rhetoric that just plays on your fucking emotions. It's scary. It's scary that Republicans will sit there and play on your emotions, but that's where we're at in America. We're living in a mostly charged society where people don't give a fuck about logic and fact anymore. The reality is that in America, we are in a mostly charged society where people are driven by emotions and their fucking feelings. That's why when you have real conversations with people, undoubtedly, the statement is going to come out. Well, I feel like, I feel. Not I think, not I read, not I am quoting I heard them when they gave this press conference on this, situation, but I feel like. And unfortunately, in the world today, we have a lot of individuals that are given a platform to just say so much shit that they don't know what the fuck they talking about. I was sitting here, I didn't save it. I was going to share a meme that Tyler Creator said. He just said it too. I've been saying it. Joe Rogan had a guest. Joe Rogan had a tabloid reporter on his podcast a couple months ago that said the very same thing about Americans. Like, we in America, he specifically called Joe Rogan out and said, "Hey, you guys in America give platforms and voices to individuals that don't know what the fuck they're talking about. And the experts get challenged and doubted at every fucking corner. But as long as somebody can say something wild and controversial and pull on your emotions, you guys in the American podcast sphere and on the social media sphere will give those people life and platform for days." And it's true. It's unfortunate, but it's fucking true. And we need to be better gatekeepers, especially in the Black community, because we just, like I just showed you, the pastor basically say, "Hey, I got $10,000 to push that MAGA-tard bullshit to y'all." And he's not even trying to hide it. And we're seeing more and more racist and bigoted things pop up. And we got niggas going in the pulpit saying they got $10,000 to push MAGA-tard shit. I don't know what to say about that shit, y'all. I just hope that church never asks for a fucking building fund, because your pastor just got 10 racks for pushing bullshit. Let me check this chat before I get up out of here. It's 8:30 Eastern Standard Time in the great state of Florida, in the free state of Florida, as Ron DeSantis would say. Shout out to all my chatters today. Perfect Glass Media, of course, I always appreciate you tuning in. Nick D, appreciate you. YouTube chatters, Twitch chatters, appreciate y'all. It's crazy, but I get a lot of traffic on Twitch. So Twitch, shout out to y'all. Y'all motherfuckers, y'all keep me motivated to come keep doing this shit. I still ain't fully figured out how to do a lot of shit on Twitch. I'm gonna have to sit down and do that. But shout out to Twitch, because y'all be doing it. Y'all be doing the thug thizzle. Thank y'all for tuning in. Peace.